Okay, hi guys. Today we are going to be going over business report tips and tricks. So, in terms of your business mark at the end of the year, um, it's made up of a mark of 250, 200 of which is theory, and 50 is business report. You only get to write one business report now, and you have 1 hour to write the report. But I'm assuming you already know this, but if not, I was just wanting to clarify. So I'm going to give you a sort of checklist, and this is a checklist that I use for my business reports. Right now, my reports sit around 45, 46, and 47 out of 50, so that's 90, 92, and 94. I really struggle to get it any higher, but I'll show you where I lose marks so that you can keep that in mind when you lose these notes. If you do want to score higher than 94, this may not be the checklist for you, and if you're already sitting on 92 or 94, perhaps this won't be very useful. But let's get started. So, the business report is made up of lower thinking and higher thinking, lower order and higher order. So, lower order thinking consists of your format. This basically, at the beginning of your report, you write to, and you're addressing somebody. The instructions will usually tell you who you're writing to. This can be a board of directors, a CEO. Under that, you'll write the date, and under that, you'll write regarding. This is a brief description of your topic. Normally, you'll be asked to talk about 2 topics in your business reports. You can mention both topics in your RE. Then you leave a line. With your introduction, don't repeat the question. They don't like that at all. You should state how you understand the topic, give some background of the topic, and establish context. That's what your introduction is about. You need to establish why it is necessary for you to write the report that you're writing. You also need to signpost, similarly to how you do in your English essays, but it doesn't need to be so consistent. Your signposting doesn't need to be consistent with your report. You can just say that you're going to discuss the external environment and their impact on organizational performance. That is enough, but you need to make sure that your content follows the order in your introduction. Sometimes what we've been asked to do is prepare 4 lines to describe the South African economy and the fuel industry, but for next year this will be the fast or whatever. I think you guys are doing general dealers. Yeah, so you basically prepare 4 lines to describe the SA economy and fuel and general dealers or fuel industry, and this is also to help establish context. You can also really put in a lot of current affairs there, which is quite nice, because then you can get some current affairs marks. Terminology, you need to use words that were used in class, and you can also improve your terminology by looking at section A's of past papers. So section A's is the multiple choice and the match the columns, etc. Your terminology, all terms must be defined, and they mustn't be redundant. There must be a reason for why you're using it. So, for example, if you use a term like the Gini coefficient, you have to say that there is a high Gini coefficient in South Africa, and then say what that means. Define Gini coefficient. Say that there's a high gap between the most wealthy and the most impoverished in the country, and then you have to use that for your report, because it has to add value to the report, otherwise it won't count. Your goal should be to have about 5 defined terms, just in case some of them are not of great value. They can then take some others. Yeah, that's how you get your terminology. Your content is 25 marks. You should is for 25 marks, and you need 50 marks. You can list a maximum of 8 if needed. The reason why I don't suggest listing is because if you lose marks generally on content, then sure, list if you need to. If you know that usually you write a 4-page business report and you're always short, at the end of your report before you sign off, date compiled by and whatever, you need to list 8 facts, just to make sure that you've got your 50 facts and you don't lose marks there. But if you don't lose marks on content, I don't suggest listing unless you know that your report is really short. Then maybe you should list, because sometimes listing takes away marks from your higher order thinking. So the higher order thinking is really the hard stuff. Substantiation for statements, you need to explain why for every point, and it's hard to do this because with business reports you actually have so many points, but a good way to get substantiation marks and application is to give industry specific examples. Industry specific. So if you are writing to the Sasol board of directors, give an example relating to Sasol. In that way you get application to content, which is the next one here, and you also get substantiation for statements, which is here. So examples are a great way to do it, and it's sort of like a literary essay where you just have to expand on your points. Application to content, there we go, make a report specific to the business that you're writing for. Our teacher always said if you can remove Sasol and put in any other business like Nando's, or if it's from another industry, it's terrible. Like if you can lift the name Sasol from your business report and put in McDonald's, that's not great application at all. And also you should have your to score great marks on application, you need to make your report so specific to your business that if they removed Sasol, the name Sasol from your report, and put in engine, it wouldn't make sense. You need to have a great knowledge of your businesses in your industry, which I will get to later. And you also need to use 5 current affairs. They'll probably only want about 3 or 4, but 5 just to be safe. And again, try to integrate it. So don't just write there's a high unemployment rate and not related to your report, otherwise they won't want the current affairs, they won't count it. Creative problem solving is my weak point. I usually score around 4 out of 6, never 5 out of 6. And for this you need to give innovative solutions to business problems. Your solution must be specific to your business. And this is where it becomes important to have a sound knowledge of your business that you're writing to. If you're writing to Sasol, you need to know how can Sasol, with their brand and their identity, solve this issue. And you have to try and make it different to how Engine would, and definitely different to how McDonald's would, because they're in an entirely different industry. Okay, and then the last 6 marks are synthesis. And I think you should just memorize this. When you get into the exam, you write down exactly what you're going to do, but I'll give you a little summary now. So synthesis, you get 1 mark for the introduction, which we went through already. A conclusion, this is a main normal conclusion. Try to not add new facts. They don't like that. It shows that you don't know how to synthesize. You need to use linking words, so your paragraphs lead to one another, and this is really easy. It's not hard to get flow of thought in a business report. Integration of topics given in this question, you basically need to make sure that you've used every topic they asked you to. Integration of questions with other business-related topics to enhance the quality of your answer. Here you use another business topic, and you can use that as a solution to a problem. So, for example, my friend and I always like to use creative problem solving that we learnt in grade 11, using problem reversal techniques and 5W and H techniques. Again, integrate it into your report, but you use another business-related topic not given in the question, and that's where you get that mark. Then arguments are developed, so you need to show 2 perspectives twice. Do it twice because you may not see it, or the marker may not see it clearly the first time you do it. So this means that if you're saying Sasol should try to form a strategic alliance with Mug and Bean, Then you need to say, however, Sasol are in a poor economic condition, so they should not expend too much money because that would worsen their situation. You're showing two sides of a coin, and that's your arguments being developed. Then at the end, you're compiled by name, make it fictitious in the finals. I don't know why actually, but just do it. And business consultant, and this forms your format. Okay, so more tips. No personal pronouns, which you want a formal essay. Use integrated current affairs, which we went through. You need to be able to discern between economic and legal when they're asking about pestle. Economic and legal are two separate things, and you need to know that, because if you write legal and you give economic issues or vice versa, you'll lose marks, especially in synthesis. You need to look at your minimum wage relative to your specific industry. That's very important. For us, it's the fuel industry. This is some tips for the fuel industry. No, you can't have specials on petrol because it's fixed. The price is fixed. Petrol stations can have specials and competitive pricing in their own stores, meaning their forecourt stores, but not in their strategic alliances stores. So they can't tell Burger King you have to have this special if it's Sasol, for example. Investigate gas cars and any sort of wild card in your industry, anything that's innovative and upcoming. It's always great to have those as solutions and current affairs. Be aware of loyalty programs. Now, this is important. What I do is I normally make a list, and I'll just do it right here. List for businesses. So what I do is I'd say Sasol, and then I'd say a unique selling proposition. They use coal. I'd say their strategic alliances, Burger King, Lavazza Coffee. And then I'd also say their loyalty programs, which is ABSA Rewards, I think. And you do that for every single business. So then you go NGen, and you just memorize that, or not memorize, but know about 2 or 3 things about each business, so that then when you get into your into your report, you can give a lot of business-specific advice. Now, this is a general recipe that a lot of people use. You make a statement, you justify how and what and why, and this gets you your substantiation. You then give examples. Remember, they should be industry-specific, and that's your application. Then you do solution and leverage, and this gives you your problem-solving and your arguments. Okay, so if we go over this again, we should just try to, I just want to give you a small little summary of the nitty-gritties of what you should have just to score high. Use this as a checklist. If you want the hard copy of this, just pop me an email. I'll put that in the comments section below. And then I'll send this to you. But so we have the terminology. So the first thing you want is 5 defined terms. 5 defined terms. Okay, so you go in there, and this is what you write down. So next to your question, you write down these things that I'm about to type, and you just tick them off as you've done them, because these are just the small things that we tend to forget. You want to make sure that you develop 2 arguments. You want to make sure that you use another business topic. Let's see. Sorry, guys. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Current affairs. Okay. And 5 current affairs. Okay. And then, of course, your format. So remember to date, RE, and then compiled by business consultant, signature. Okay, and then I highly suggest that the night before your business paper, you search for some current affairs, you make a list. You look for some cool things in your industry that you can use. And listening class, when they mark reports, oftentimes the teacher will talk about great reports she heard and what was mentioned. Use that stuff. It's important. That's how you get better. I hope this helped. If you guys want any more business related content, just let me know in the comments. I think this is a very long video. I haven't actually checked the time yet. But remember, if you want these notes emailed to you, I'll give you my email in the description. Okay, happy studying, guys.